So the thing that I don't want to talk about, but that Dan put in the script, is given kind of the upward trajectory of Chelsea and some unfortunate injuries to Liverpool and kind of slow starts from United and City. Do you feel like Chelsea have a shot to be there or thereabouts for the title?
Yeah, Frank Lampard would shoot me for saying this. I think they've got to go for the title now. That's not to say I think they've failed if they don't win the title. They're two very different things. If Manchester City don't win the title, for me, that's a failure because they're at a level where the expectation should be that they should really be winning the title. Chelsea have an opportunity because of circumstances. Liverpool's injury list is horrendous. Joe Gomez is basically out for the season now. Virgil van Dijk's basically out for the season. Trent Alexander-Arnold's out for 4 weeks. Man City, Nathan Ake came off last night. They've got problems. They don't look right up front. And they're a long way behind already. It's a massive opportunity. So if Chelsea end up finishing second or third, I'd still say great season. Progress, good progress. And if they're challenging, if the gap's closed. But what I would also say now is they've got to go for it. There's an opportunity there. They've got to go for it. And there's no reason why they can't. I've spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks listening to Tottenham fans talking about the fact it could be their year. And it could be, but Chelsea have got a better chance than Tottenham.
Why do you say that?
Better squad. Better squad. I mean, they've just got a better squad. They've got a better first 11 and a better squad.
Well, and we're still waiting.
The only advantage Tottenham really have over Chelsea is that they've got a manager who has done it before. That's not me doubting Frank. It's just the fact they've got a manager who's got over the line before. But in terms of squad and team and actually playing style, I think Chelsea playing. I see a lot of the clubs. I've seen Tottenham probably already 3 or 4 times this season because I sort of cover Tottenham as well as Chelsea. Chelsea are playing an awful lot better than Tottenham. Tottenham are getting through games, but Chelsea are playing an awful lot better than Tottenham.
Tottenham's in Europa League. We're in Champions League. Like, those are the things that could always throw a title challenge off the wobble a little bit. But what were you saying, Dan?
Well, I was going to say, we haven't gotten Harry Kane's seasonal injury yet either. He's going to be out for a run of matches too at some point, just with the way that his nature is. And I think their downgrade in the striker position to Chelsea's, if you go from a Timo to a Tammy, for instance, that we know that both can score in the Premier League with, quite a bit of regularity. So I guess I would bet on that too. It seems like our depth would be just a little bit better to withstand some of the injuries.
It's a good point. It's so hard to call though. I mean, obviously it's ridiculously early, but we just don't know with the injuries and the COVID tests.
Yep.
It's going to be impossible to call. For instance, if the goalkeeper or Thiago Silva gets injured, then that changes things massively for Chelsea. So they're at the hands of the gods a little bit. But at the moment, there's a massive opportunity there.
So speaking of the table, I mean, I have a feeling you'll probably want to call it Villa, but what are some of a couple of teams or spots that stand out most to you as we are sitting here on the 12th of November?
It's the obvious, really. Southampton and Leicester. I mean, Leicester, I think people probably expected to do well, maybe not as well as they're doing, particularly after they lost to West Ham and Villa at home in successive games. They've bounced back. Fofana at Leicester looks a real find. Their recruitment's very good. I've got to say, if you look at it, take Southampton at the moment because they haven't done a lot of recruitment. But the teams up there, Chelsea, I would say, recruited better than anybody else. And I think that's already evident. I think that the recruitment over the summer, even though Havertz hasn't been spectacular yet, I don't think you can fault any of the recruitment. Villa clearly recruited well. Villa are up there and benefiting from it. Leicester have clearly recruited well with Fofana and the Belgian lad Castagna. Recruitment's playing a big part at the moment. Man City haven't recruited very well in the last few years, to be honest with you, and that's why they're sliding down. So I think you can see already the teams that did recruit well. Tottenham, to be fair to them, Tottenham recruited well in the summer. They're up there. The recruitment in the early part has played a massive part. And then Southampton are the anomaly. Southampton are the real anomaly. I mean, I watched them tear Villa apart in the first half, and I watched them at obviously Chelsea, where in the second half they outplayed Chelsea. And they're a good side. The problem they've got is like Villa, like Leicester, they're only ever one injury away from probably a bad run of results. And I think in December, you know, again, Leicester in Europe, so that's a bit different, but certainly Villa are benefiting at the moment from not being in Europe. When we get to December and all these clubs who are either having easier times in Europe or have not been in Europe, in December, the whole of the Premier League's got to play every 3 days. And that's when the squads are going to kick in. And I think that will then really start to shake the table down a little bit more.